San Diego, are you seeing more of the for sale signs like I am? Market is starting to finally heat up.
Yeah, and there's an obvious implication for sellers there, but what about buyers? How can you take advantage of this opportunity right now?
Finally some room to breathe in that regard. And detached homes around the county seem to be holding their value, but are condos feeling the squeeze? Active listings jumped up 29%. Months of supply stretched from 3 months to 4 months. Days on market up, right? 36 for houses, 42 for condos.
Okay.
Homes aren't quite flying off the shelf like they have in years past. There's a little more nuance here. So a longer timeline, but the right homes are still moving. And this is really the framework that we've been talking about with our clients here at the Greenhouse Group. As the summer then starts to wane and begin the fall, fall's always a gray area market. What do I mean by that? Well, it's like beginning of the year and end of the year, we call that the holiday hangover. Like ain't nobody doing nothing. And by the way, if you are a buyer, you're actually really smart to be doing something because your competition is almost nil.
Right.
That's a whole separate podcast right there. But then the summer is what the summer is, and basically spring is the lead up to that. Everybody knows what's going to come in spring. It's going to be summer. So you got that like ramp up. Fall's the gray area.
Yeah.
Like fall is kind of like a macro, micro, like zoom in, zoom out of like, well, where are we at really with this whole thing? Like, for example, if it's an election year, like we just had, forget about it.
Yeah.
You just go on vacation or something, right? Don't even think about it, right? So where are we at right now? What does all that mean for us? Well, we're starting to see kind of the emblems of maybe a little bit of momentum in the market.
Yeah.
A little bit of chatter from the Fed, right? I don't mind the Powell-Trump little battle going on because I think that, Powell's probably going to be spiteful and maybe increase it a half between now and the end of his term. I'm sorry, decrease it a half. My apology. Decrease it a half between now and the end of his term when, of course, Trump wants like 3 points or something, right?
Right. We're not getting that.
We're definitely not getting that. But the point, though, is I think it's starting to imbue a little bit of consumer confidence. And if we're seeing that confluence of homes kind of starting to peel back up in inventory a little bit, the buoyancy of sellers running the game, kind of giving way a little bit to the buyers, those are good things, gang. That's what the market needs to be able to get from where it is and where it's been stuck to where it needs to be.
Well, and to put a little context around that, those numbers, they're moving and they sound like, oh man, the directionality of them is weird. But we're coming back towards normal. We're not even to normal yet.
Thank you.
And so it's a really funny concept to be like, oh, they're sitting out there for 30 days is nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Well said.
So we're in a position where we're kind of moving back to the norm, not moving into a weird territory. I like that concept.
Super, super well said. So I always like to kind of couch it in like, okay, well, what does this mean for buyers, right? And if it's not obvious, I think if I was a buyer right now, I'd be like, well, I don't have to rush. Looks like the numbers are kind of moving in my favor, at least for the time being. The rates don't seem to be getting worse, right? And there could be some actual rate improvements between now and the end of the year.
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of interesting. But then on the other side of that, though, is you also don't want to try to time it.
Yeah.
Because there's no timing in real estate. There's only time in real estate.
Yeah.
Right? So when people try to get too cute with the timing, oftentimes it means that it's like, when's the best time to plant the tree? Right? And then it ends up being too late. And then the house that they would have got, that they could have got for this price, and then the market takes off a little bit, and the rates kind of drop. And next thing you know, you got a line down the street, and now you're paying $50,000 more for the condo than you did a month ago.
Yeah. Ask anyone who didn't buy since COVID. That's the story that's been happening that entire time, right? It's treadmill. And so one thing that's interesting is we're seeing this that you're talking about helping both sides of the conversation, right? Buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
Buyers becoming a little bit more affordable because of the rate drop. Some of the stuff is sitting out there, so you don't have to be hair on fire sprinting with your offer in hand.
Yeah.
Like you can take your time, you can check the place out. You don't have to worry so much. That calmness, I think, begets better transactions too. The seller says, hey, look, I got 2, maybe 3 offers instead of 15. Right. It's less cutthroat. It's more kind and gentle.
Or not uncommon for it to be one offer.
Sure.
Right now.
Right.
Real talk.
It's all you need sometimes, though,
Right.
right? So one thing that I'm noticing right now is for our buyers, they're starting to take advantage or be able to take advantage of these lower down payment options. Whereas you might, as someone who lists a lot of property, you might know that sellers maybe aren't necessarily that attracted to having someone come in with barely any down payment because they think, oh, maybe they can't afford it.
We've always been conditioned to think that 20% down is kind of the watermark. And that's not untrue because it's a massive advantage and leverage of bringing 20% down and not having mortgage insurance and things like this. But you can go less than 20.
But that's the buyer's benefit, right?
Right.
So I have a lot of clients that just choose not to put that much money down. Doesn't mean they can't afford it. And really, when you think about affordability from a seller's perspective is, can they make the monthly payment? That's what the lender wants to know. Are they going to qualify for the monthly payment? Doesn't matter how much you put down. And so
That's right.
It is an interesting thing where sellers sometimes get that see-through vision of like, oh, wait, like I just care how qualified they are, not how much they have down.
Making sure they're going to be there at the end.
That's right.
With a closed deal versus a failed escrow.
If you have a sea of offers on your table and you're looking at that and you're saying, oh, well, of course I get to cherry pick. But don't forget that the folks coming in with a little bit of money just might mean that they are not actually trying to put a bunch of their assets down on that transaction. That's all. Because when it comes to money strategy, you can use your money in a lot of different ways. It doesn't necessarily have to be on buying a house.
100%, dude. I mean, that's the classic OPM.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's like if you pick up any real estate leverage book, if there are still any bookstores out there, they're going to talk about the concept of that's what makes real estate as a category so attractive versus like buying a stock or buying a bond or buying a mutual fund. Like I have to finance 100% of that position if I do that in the latter. If I do it in the former in real estate, I can put down
3%, 3.5%.
Yeah.
None.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right. Yeah. Are there any nuns? Well, any nuns. That's hilarious.
Yeah. You're looking for some nuns?
Are there any nuns other than VA and USDA? Are there any nuns?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have some down payment assistance products that pair usually with an FHA loan. And what you do is they'll help you expand that gap of 3.5%, which is typically your requirement. You can get some of that, all of that. You can even get more than that. So we've got a 101% down payment program right now where that's actually helping contribute to your closing costs. So you don't have to put anything down. Now, there's always a give and take, right?
Yeah.
The less you put down, the more expensive it's going to be, the
more
worse your
risk.
rate's going to be,
Right.
all that stuff. And so typically, if you can at least get in with your down payment, 3.5%, if you can at least get in with that, you're a little bit better off than trying to use a DPA. But there are programs out there that'll help you do that.
Yeah. So detached homes, they seem to be holding their value right now. But what's up with condos?
Yeah.
Condos are feeling the squeeze right now, brother.
Yeah, on the finance side, especially because lenders, on the heels of this stuff in Florida, have gotten real focused on
the heels on the stuff in Florida. Don't assume that we know what that is.
condos collapsing,
Right.
essentially, or real disrepair that hasn't been paid attention to. Right. Now, nobody sits in an HOA board and says, we should raise our dues and fix all the balconies at a cost of $100,000. Like, it's not a conversation that happens in a vacuum. And so lenders now have taken it upon themselves to say, and when I say lenders, I mean like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, taken it upon themselves to say, hey, we're not going to finance condos unless you show us that there's been an inspection, that people are doing their due diligence, that the place isn't going to fall down. And what I hate about that is they're asking to see this stuff is so hard. Like what they want to see is crazy. They want to see reports. They want to see facts that everything that you've ever thought should get done is already done. This is very challenging, but it's really going to save people in the end. We're going through a pain point right now. Like it's almost like we're signing up with a physical trainer right now. And they're like, okay, here we go. And it's going to suck for a while. But the end result, I'm going to say in 5 years, is that complexes are going to be healthier. They're going to have regular inspections. They're going to have the repairs done if they want to be sellable. And so I think this is good ultimately, but it's really hard for condos that haven't been taken care of for a long time.
Well, and you could just say, you could categorize just HOAs have been so underfunded.
Yeah.
period. Like post-COVID, as we know, everything basically doubled, if not tripled.
Yep.
Right? All costs. And HOAs weren't raising their dues commiserate with that. And then on top of that, like you got the balcony thing that's going on right now. You got all the retrofits.
Yep.
Like there's a pinch that's happening right now. And it's really making the condo category super unattractive. Right? So to your point, one side of that faction could be like, all right, well, F them, I'm out. Like, I don't want a condo.
Yeah.
Right? This is another nail in the coffin in the condo world. I hate condo Karen. I don't want to have a bad neighbor that pounds music all night or whatever. And now this is right. That's that side. The other side of that is, are condos going anywhere? Hell no.
No.
Right? So the old adage is fortune favors the bold. And so like, how do you make bold moves when everybody else is hesitating?
That's right.
When everybody else gets alligator arms, how do you come up basically? And that's being shown right now in the prices. You know, so median price for detached actually up 5%, despite all the crazy math that's going on right now around us, which would make you think that the Stuart Little sky is falling. We actually broke the 7-figure mark again, and we're at 1.099. Okay.
Yeah.
But condos slipped almost twice that much.
Wow.
7.1%, and just hovering right at about 650 right now. So that's the duality that's going on right now between those two categorically.
I think you're making a great point, because what are condos? Typically, it's entry level housing.
It's fractional ownership.
It's a way to get in and own something, still an appreciating real estate asset,
right?
But also, it's not that far reach to the SFR or the single family house,
right?
And so I think if you could see markets like, what's the Buffett thing, like where when everybody's getting out, you get in. Right. This is an indicator of like maybe a softening that could be a window for some people who've been waiting on the side trying to figure out how to afford this.
Yeah, it's really well said. So for sellers right now, because there's a lot of folks, in that category who are like, hey, man, I'm done. Right. I made my money. I got really lucky owning an APN in San Diego over the last X amount of years, wherever. And so the pricing right now is everything, gang. Right? Pricing, you could say, is always everything. Like it's the economy stupid. Well, in real estate, it's the price stupid. Right? It's the price. Oh, you know what? It's the price. Right? It's always the price, right? Because price becomes a cure-all. But in terms of being strategic about it, you have this little modality right here of comps, call it the market. So this is just an aggregate of like, here's kind of what everything with the same size and the area is kind of sold for. So you can price it at the market. And if you do that, you can look forward to racking up market time. You can look forward to doing price adjustments as you chase the market down. Last I checked, not a great poker look.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, here's all my cards. Who'd like to take advantage of me? Now, conversely, if you have the bandwidth and you've got maybe the sand, you could say, to price ahead of the market a little bit, now some interesting things open up, right? No one wants to make less money on their sale than the next guy did or what they feel like they deserved. But remember, price is not, the list price is not the price of the home. It's just a strategy. It's a marketing lever, right? So if you can get more people excited about it than this one who priced at the market, what if you get two people excited about it at the same time? Well, now you can trigger a multiple counteroffer round. They've already emotionally vested in the idea because they wrote their first offer. They're 10 times more likely to make a second decision in line with the one that they already made. So you have an opportunity to bid them up past what you should have actually got for it in the first place.
Interesting.
And then on top of that, if market inventory is continuing to rise, well, then you've beat the other competition from swelling. Because if you're the only one selling in your complex, you got a pretty good fighting chance. They're coming to see you. But if there's two people that are bottom, or three, if there's four, well, now you're in a race to the bottom. So who's going to get to the bottom first?
Right.
Well, if you can head them off at the pass, you're going to look really good in history's rearview mirror.
Yeah, I like that idea. And when you're looking at financing as a buyer, I think it feels heavy because it's a 30-year fix and you're like, oh my God, am I going to pay this payment for 30 years? The fact is you're not. what you're going to pay is that payment until rates adjust significantly, until you've been in it for 5 years and you can restructure your financing, until you buy that new home. So it's a mistake, I think, to think of these things as permanent features. And that can help you assuage a little bit that idea of how affordable is this thing right now. And so I'm seeing buyers make an adjustment in their way they're thinking about it. And a lot of my buyers can afford so much more than they're signing up for, right?
Was that a humble brag?
No, I'm saying I think
my buyers tend to be able to afford a lot.
Yeah, we do have some good buyers. What I'm seeing is maybe I'll call it a trend in the folks that I'm helping get pre-approved, where they're kind of self-capping, right?
Yeah.
They're not like, hey, sign me up for whatever I can afford.
Now, what do you think that is?
I think it's a shift in the way people are looking at money. I think it's a shift in the way people feel about the economy, the security of their job, and all of that. Like, I don't want to spend every dime I have on my home.
Couldn't agree more. What's the definition of an economy? Or they'll call it the dumb layperson's version of it.
I'm not sure.
The belief that tomorrow's going to be better than today.
Okay.
And if the people do not believe that tomorrow is going to be better than today, 3 months in a row, it's a recession.
Right.
Right. So in the market right now, if they're looking around and they're saying, I could totally qualify for 800, but I'm going to cap it at 650.
Yeah.
They're basically saying, I don't believe the home is going to be worth more tomorrow than it is today.
Right. Because you remember when we got into this stuff, we throw our hat over the fence, right? Like, I don't know, somehow get me that thing.
Right.
Because I know how it's going to go.
Yeah, early aughts.
And I think the conversation now is like, okay, well, I want to just be a little bit careful.
Yeah.
Right. And so why am I saying that? It's because people have a little bit of room. They have more ability to borrow, but they're just backing it down a touch. And I think that's the sentiment that we're seeing is, how much am I all in on this thing right now? Right. But what does that mean? To sellers, that means people have a little in the tank, right? They've got a little bit of movement. And so I think affordability from that standpoint, the properties are affordable. It's not that prices are moving in the condo example that you gave because people can't afford that.
Right.
Because SFRs are going up, right? So what we're really seeing is the perception of quality, the perception of stability, and indecision is showing up from that.
All right.
So I think that sentiment is traveling through what we're seeing in the market.
Yeah.
And we're helping people on a regular basis navigate that because we're setting them up with what their future payment will be. We're setting them up with their strategy as to what property they should go for. How much should it be? And that's all in the early conversation, well before they hit the pavement with their pre-approval letter and start making offers. All of that's being taken into consideration.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think big picture as we wrap end of summer show, we're in September now already. I think that there's an opportunity right now, and I don't think this is a Pollyannic thing. I mean, this may be glass half full, but it feels like there's finally a little bit of momentum in the market in leading towards consumer confidence. This is actually maybe a juxtaposition from what you just kind of said there, right? So then what, right? Well, if inventory is doing a good job repleting itself right now, demand is still afoot, but it's strategic demand. As soon as something, call it the linchpin or the first domino starts to fall, I would love it to be rates.
Yeah.
Like I've hung my hat on that nail on the wall now for like 3.5, 4 years straight.
Yeah.
And they still haven't behaved the way we want them to. But it seems like we're finally kind of cruising in that direction. I think this could actually be a really novel third and fourth quarter.
Right. And how do you take advantage of that? You have to be ready.
Yeah.
So put it together. We've got some clients who are just like, I don't know when I'm going to buy, but my eyes are open. Okay. Pre-approval, fully ready so they can hit that thing as soon as they see it. Right.
Well said. All right, gang. Well, you know where to catch us. So
don't forget to let them know that the next one that we're doing it live from the pool because it's the end of the summer season. So we're going to get in there and we're just going to be in the pool and do it live from there. So if that's of interest to you, let us know in the comments and we can make that happen.